Hey guys, sorry I'm a little bit late tonight, but Eli and I were shooting. There's going to be a shoot on the 19th, uh, and they said they were giving out trophies. So Eli is going to throw his hat in the ring and going to come out and do some shooting. It's a church group, and they've got a shooting range for the day, and they're going to have some pistol, rifle, and shotguns. So I'm a pistol guy. I like pistols, and so we're gonna. I don't know if I'll join in the competition or not, but I've been practicing for the last couple of days at the different distances, and so he's had a good time. But anyway, for those that don't know me, I'm Ashley Williams, Legacy Farms Coffee, and we also own or run and own, I guess, LF Missions, and we're starting a new group called Legacy Farms Missions. Both those are going to be nonprofits, and we have a church, library, after-school program, things like that in Honduras. We have bank that we loan money to the workers. Uh, excuse me. So currently we're having trouble with our StreamYard. We are not on all the different platforms, but we are on YouTube. Thanks, Eli. Eli just brought me out supper. And normally he's on the program with us, but he's got a few things going on this tonight. So he's not going to be on here, I don't think, unless he changes his mind. Anyway, we're going to remind you guys that we did win 7th place in the Maracala Coffee Fest, and we won 12th place in the Maracala Coffee Fest, respectively, with our Prairie Nema and our Marziesa. The container is currently been offloaded in Houston, Texas, and tomorrow morning we're going to find out exactly what the shipping schedule is. That's also what they told us yesterday, that to this morning we would find out what the shipping schedule was, but we haven't yet. So it'll either be coming Friday or Monday. At this point, I'm probably going to push for Monday. And then also, if that happens and we get it offloaded on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to head for Tennessee for a couple of days. So if there's any roasters in that area, I'll try to stop in. I think I'm going to try to make my way over to McKenzie, Tennessee, and I will be in Bells, Tennessee for a few minutes to see a friend of mine's family and go by our office and sort of check on things. We are permanent now in Mound Ridge, Kansas, so I've got a lot of stuff in my office at the old shooting range office. So which used to be the old bank building in Merge City. So we're going to have to start moving stuff this fall from Tennessee to Kansas. And I'll also be getting a Kansas driver's license here pretty soon. A lot of big changes. The biggest thing is hopefully Thursday, Friday, or Monday, the container will be here. So that means within 3 or 4 days after that, we'll start shipping the 2024 crop. It's super late this year, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. They're pretty sketchy on the details, but the container was ready to ship July 1st or July 5th, and it just didn't get done. So it's been sitting in the bodega. But I wanted to go over that we've got some really good coffee this year, and a couple of questions this week have been about direct trade. And I see a lot of people that'll say, we do direct trade, we sell direct trade coffee, and they buy it from this farmer and then sell it to you. That is not direct trade. That's what's always happened. A lot of guys are saying we facilitate or we're a broker for direct trade. A lot of different ways to word, but it's a duck is a duck. And selling direct trade is when you buy coffee that I grow on my farm. You're buying direct trade coffee from Legacy Farms Coffee, Eli Mountain, or Finca Juancito. When you buy Anna's coffee, I intermediary that, I broker that somewhat. Anna pays me for the shipping to the United States. Anna pays the workers directly, my workers, for processing her coffee. And then everything that's left, Anna gets. We don't make a profit off Anna's, Santos's, Bahidio, or anybody else's coffee that we have this year. There's another guy, I can't think what his name is, going to have some of his coffee. But when you buy coffee from us, if it's got somebody else's name on it, that guy gets all the money left over from the shipping and exporting and all that. So I see a couple of folks online. If anybody wants to jump out, I think I have comments turned on. If not, we'll find out pretty quick. If I don't see comments in a few minutes, I'll try to get on them. I'm trying to eat a little bit of supper while I do the podcast. I had lunch with a friend of mine today, and I didn't eat enough. And I haven't had snacks today. I've had a lot of coffee. I've got a big, one of the commercial bun coffee makers. I think every 5 minutes it'll put out one of those vacuum pots, which I think I don't know if it's a gallon or what it is. Doesn't say. But I've been doing one of those every morning at 6, and then I just pump coffee all day, and it gives me hot coffee all day. The other question was, when would coffee land? And we just talked about that. Hopefully it'll be here on Monday at the latest. But the direct trade thing, when we sell our green coffee, we make them verbally tell us in an email, or we make them tell us in an email that they agree not to sell our green coffee, because we want our bags say direct trade. They actually say direct trade only. So we don't give anybody permission to resell our green coffee. And I had a guy that went out of business last year, and we couldn't buy the coffee back from him, but we allowed him to sell it to some other guys, and that's his sort of, lost the direct trade, legitimacy there. But we knew he was selling it, and he needed to get all his money out of his products that he could. So, but the biggest thing with direct trade is knowing your coffee and knowing where it comes from. With us, we have a one apartment. We're going to have a second one open by the end of the year. So you guys can get on the schedule, and you can come out during harvest, or you can come out anytime during the year. I don't have to be on the farm, but you can come out and meet the people, see the farm, see the process. If you want to come out during harvest, you can help with the picking. I'll put you to driving a truck. We always have a deal where you get to keep what you pick. So when Ben and Brian came out, they picked like 50 pounds of yellow bourbon. I didn't think that through, because they picked my most expensive coffee, and at that point it was our best cupping coffee. But if you want to come out to the farm during harvest and pick coffee, it's basically the first day you get there, you'll have to start picking, because it'll take 5 days to get it dry. So we need to pick it and process it and get it dry. But and I don't mind shipping it home for you. But that's always been a deal. Anybody that visits the farm can have all the coffee they can pick. So if you want to go crazy, go crazy. We're just so excited to have people visit the farm. We've had more people visit the farm this year than we have in the last 10. We've had lots of people come out. We're going to be listed on Airbnb here fairly soon, but your best way to book a room is just booking it straight with us. It's $20 a person to stay in one of the apartments. If it's one person, $20, or if it's more people, it's $20 each. Then it's $5 a meal for any meal you want, and so we think it's a pretty fair price. We pick you up at the airport. There's some different fees for some different things, because we're trying to at least break even. That's the goal. But again, these rooms have coffee makers. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Coffee makers, V60, French press. They're in the cupping lab. You have 2 roasters. There's a Fresh Roast 700 and there's a Hucky 500. You guys are welcome to use those. I know when Ben and Brian came, they're 2 of our favorite people. They roasted coffee probably half the nights they were there. They were just going in, and Anna would pull them 12-ounce samples, and they'd just go and play and roast coffee. I think they had a big time. We've had people that don't care about roasting, just want to drink, and so I pre-roast and have plenty of coffee there for everybody. And it is a fun trip. So we're going to pretty soon post a list of times that I'm going to be there. I'm going to have Eli on the schedule. Eli's one of the funnest people. The groups always have a great time when Eli's there. He really enjoys it. I enjoy it. There's very few things I love more than drinking coffee with friends and new friends on the back porch. To me, that's just one of my favorite times ever. But we offered that option to know. One of the reviews we got one time was a guy that was so excited. I can't think of what his name was, but he calls the number for Legacy Farms, and he said, I can't. The review went something like, I can't believe that, he had a fresh roast, and he said, I own a $200 roaster, and I'm trying to call a company about buying 6 pounds of coffee, and I end up talking to the owner of the farm, the guy that grew it, and we sit there and talk for an hour. And he was so impressed with that. When, to me, I was happy to get to talk to somebody that's roasting my coffee, that enjoys my coffee. So it was just exciting for both of us. And I try to spend as much time, returning phone calls, and I want to meet the people. So whether it's meet them online, I like doing Zoom calls. So if anybody ever has a question, get on, join us online. We'll do a Zoom call, or we'll do a phone call, but don't hesitate to text me with anything you want to know. There's not any dumb questions. But I hope that you guys are on your journey to going from the fresh roast coffee roaster to, selling coffee at the farmer's market is usually the first step, or, starting a coffee business. We're going to try our best to be there with you every step of the way and grow when you grow. This next season, the 2025 crop, we're going to try to have, my goal is to have 6 coffees from 6 different farms that you can buy from us. And you'll get a bio of, who we buy it from, the best I can. But I want to offer some different coffees other than what we've had. And buying coffee that way still helps us on the farm, but it's a way that we can help some other farmers. I want to push a couple buttons here and make sure that I have. Yeah, I think the chat's turned on. See, if somebody would try to ask a question or something, let's see if it pops up, or just say, hey. If you guys, there's a few people on watching now. If you guys have a business, you're selling on Facebook or whatever, if you want to put your Facebook page or whatever on, stick that on there. We'll help you advertise. I know we're not Joe Rogan, anything like that, but we're getting a pretty good amount of views. But I desperately need help in a couple of areas. But the main one right now is I'm having trouble with my podcast. It's stopped going out to my Facebook and my Instagram. So I definitely need to get those things done. If anybody has any podcasting experience, will lend me a hand with that, or can connect me with somebody. But Eli and I are taking a hunter safety class, so I'm going to cut tonight. So I'm going to keep tonight to 30 to 40 minutes. But we're trying to figure out how we can grow the farm. And we're going to start here pretty soon. We're going to have hats and cups here very soon. I think Julia's got all the logo stuff done. We're going to we're going to do a different coffee cup every time. So we'll buy coffee cups 100 at a time, and we're going to try to keep them changing up. The hats are going to be a basic, like a trucker hat or something with a leather patch that has our logo on it. And we're going to try to do some different things. If you guys have ideas or contacts of where we could buy things from, but we're still trying really hard to get a podcast of roasters together. That seemed to be a task we haven't been able to accomplish just yet. So, but if anybody has an idea of a podcast you'd like for us to do, this topic you would like us to cover, go over that. But a basic farm report. Some people had asked what's going on the farm. They were asking about our employees and things like that. During harvest, we should have 100 plus employees. Normally, we have 12 to 15 guys that work every day on the farm. Right now, Santos is doing a spraying with an organic mix that he's going to buy. So they'll mix it, and when it's ready, they'll bring it out to the farm, and we have to spray it on pretty quick. So we'll have 15 guys out there. A couple of them are just hauling water and hauling the mix, and there'll be 8 to 10 guys with spray pumps. According to how many are broken, a lot of times Santos waits till the day that we're supposed to spray before he goes and checks out the sprayers. So the last time there was only 7 that were working, so we had to send a couple guys home. But generally, it's 12 to 15 people. I've had a couple of people ask, what do we pay? I generally don't talk about what we pay, but we do pay 25% more than the other farms pay. And the farms get together and they decide according to what coffee prices are to what they'll pay. So a farm worker's pay will fluctuate. Our farms don't. So when the coffee hits a really low, we're still going to pay the same amount. The other farmers rise and go up and down. Back in 2010, 2011, I think maybe La Roya hit pretty hard, and so they cut the price of labor pretty low during that time. But they don't make a ton of money. But in the coffee business or the corn business or any of those farm businesses, a lot of the pay depends on what the market is. With coffee, we've decided that we're going to start selling more roasted coffee so that we're not subject to those highs and lows of the coffee market. On the green side, you're very controlled by that because you're lucky to make $1 a pound on green coffee. So this year, here in the next month or two, we're going to raise our roasted coffee prices probably 25 cents to 50 cents a pound because the war on Ukraine has more than doubled. The prices have gone down on fertilizer, but they're still double what it used to be. So we're going to have to reflect some of that in the roasted coffee prices. Currently, we get more on our green coffee than a lot of people do, but on our roasted coffee, we're cheaper than a lot of people. And we're doing that because we're trying to just get a brand awareness. So, a lot of our people that roast our coffee sell it for a lot more than we do. We've got a couple customers selling it for $18 a pound. I think in our Alaska customer, it's $18 to $20 a pound is what they're charging for it. So we're going to raise our green prices a little bit this year, maybe 10 cents, but the majority of our coffee is going to go up 25 to 50 cents a pound. So that'll make our lowest coffee $15 a pound. And our most expensive coffee is going to be the 88 and 89 point Perry Namus. Those are going to be $19 a pound, something like that. But that's a very limited, short run of coffee that we'll have. I think we have maybe 2,000 pounds of that coffee. So we have to do that because that coffee commands a higher price because it is a higher cupping coffee. So those are some of the labor things. Right now, we're helping a elementary school build a little pavilion so the kids have a place to sit and eat lunch and to go out and do some homeworks and different assignments. They're able to do that outside in the shade. We're helping them build that pavilion. So that's where some of your coffee money is going. We're still trying to raise another $3,000 to finish the children's classroom. We're hoping to do that in November when I go back. I think that's all the viewer questions for the week. I would direct some of you guys to look through our website and look at the story called Accidental Coffee Farmer. A few people have asked about how we got started in the coffee business. There also is on the webpage, there's some articles about washed, honey, and natural. We generally have somebody every week almost to ask about what the 3 processes are. This year, there's an anaerobic fermentation. We did 2 kinds. One of them I didn't market. It was almost exactly the same score and flavor profile. So rather than sell it as anaerobic fermented coffee, We just sold it as regular coffee because it didn't turn out any different. The one that did turn out different was a little bit higher cupping and had a few different types of flavors in it. So we're going to have one coffee. There's probably 150 pounds of it. That's an anaerobic fermented coffee. And I'm sorry, I don't have the cupping notes of that coffee in front of me, but we'll make a note of that. And we'll be selling it almost exclusively. We'll be selling it on the roasted side. This year we have a couple of new blends. There's going to be a winter blend. I haven't finished that just yet on the roasted side. We have a breakfast blend that's been there for a while, but we changed the formula of that this year. Julia's Joe is a combination of our two best coffees. We have a coffee that's an 87.5, that's a Marciesa, and we have an 88 point Perinema. And so and the flavor profiles are different. So we're going to mix those two coffees together and have a couple guys cup it and see what they think of it. But that coffee online roasted is called Julia's Joe. That coffee can't be roasted together, so it's roasted and then blended. We're going to have a few, if any of you guys do flavored, we're going to have a caramel apple. We're going to have a ginger snap online. We're going to have a French vanilla online, as well as rum popo, Jamaica Me Crazy, caramel rum crunch, salted caramel, toasted pecan. Those are our standard flavored coffees that we have. And again, flavored coffees are where we add flavor versus a flavor profile is where those are naturally occurring flavors. And again, you're going to see more of those flavors and taste more of those flavors when you brew your coffee at a certain water temperature, which for me is 195, and you do a pour over. You're going to realize a lot more of those coffees. This thing smells so good, I couldn't not eat it. Julia made a tater tot casserole, and it smells like it's got hamburger meat in it, and there might be some bacon on it. I'm not sure, but the smells are getting too nice. And one of the coffees was one of the questions last week that I didn't get to was, what is my favorite coffee? There's a coffee online roasted. It's called Don Ashley, and it is actually the washed Marciesa that you'll see online here in a couple weeks. It's just a nice clean cup. It's very low acid because I drink a lot of coffee during the day. Especially today, I was stamping bags, so I drank a lot of coffee. I flew in, I guess it was Monday. No, it wasn't. I got here Wednesday last week. So the first thing I did when I woke up that next morning was start roasting coffee. So I started dragging bags out and started, and then come to find out they hadn't turned their numbers in yet. So I roasted a little bit of basic coffee, and then I ended up roasted 456 pounds of green coffee. And I had a real high. We went a little bit darker. So I ended up with 375 pounds of roasted coffee. So 456 green equaled 376, I think it was, roasted coffee. Had somebody turn in an order of 338 pounds of roasted coffee. It was for a fundraiser. So Thursday, I finished my roasting. And then Friday and Saturday, I was grinding, bagging. And then yesterday, between customers and other orders, I ground and bagged coffee and got it all ready for them to pick up this morning. So anybody that wants to do a fundraiser, if you're very far off, it makes it harder to do because we have to ship it. But we can generally ship coffee for about $1 a pound on bulk orders. If it's something crazy like 500 or 600 pounds, we put it on a pallet and ship it. And that ends up being about 50 cents a pound. But according to what the shipping and all that is, we have to figure all that out ahead of time. We do a fundraiser. We try to make it where you can make about $4 to $5 a pound when you sell coffee. So you do a fundraiser, we give you a couple of options. We give you a decaf, a dark roast, a regular roast, and 2 flavored coffees. You have the option of ground coffee or whole bean. And then when you get all your numbers, as the kids sell, they have to collect the money, because the day you turn the order in, you have to pay us. And so from that day, in about 10 days, I can have the coffee ready, depending on the order. This other order, I pretty much had it ready on Saturday, but we had everything finished Monday morning. So it took me about 4 business days to get a 330-pound order, ready. And they were local, so we have big plastic tubs. So I had it ready, separated into plastic tubs, and all they have to do is just lay the tubs out and put their orders together, and then they end up delivering it. So we have a lot of fundraising opportunities to where if you've got a nonprofit, or yesterday somebody came in from a Cub Scout group. A lady came in that has a friend that has cancer, and they're doing a fundraiser auction for her. So they're going to get 40 or 50 pounds and put it on the auction, and try to help a friend out. So anything like that, we really want to help. Now, my passion is if you've got a kid that's going to go on a mission trip, so we're definitely going to help with that. I'm talking to a guy, he and his son are wanting to go on a mission trip. So I'm going to make them an awesome deal, because they're wanting to come to our farm on a mission trip. So I'm going to see if we can't propose something to the church to see if the church might go together and help sell some coffee for a while, so that they can go on a mission trip. And we'll try to get something to help them with something like that. Nowadays, it's expensive to get a passport. And it's not just the mission trip, it's taking off work, it's all the little things you have to do. So it's fairly expensive. So, if we could put a group together to help them out. But if you guys have something that's near and dear to your heart, then we'd be glad to help you with it. But that's about all the questions I had. I said we're going to keep it short tonight. We're coming on a half an hour, and nobody online is asking any questions. So we're probably gonna wrap it up. Next week, I do have a couple home roasters that are going to be on. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that tonight. But I really wish some of you guys would jump online and ask some questions. But when I send this notice out, this link, if you guys have a local coffee shop, if you guys could share your link with that, because we need to pick up some more coffee shops. We need to just get our Instagram blown up. So anybody that's got any marketing experience that'd be willing to help, we can pay, or we can pay in coffee. We can pay in dollars is what I was trying to say, or we can pay in coffee. But we're trying to work out how to make this grow. And there's a lot of things I want to do on the nonprofit side, and you can't do that without money. So any of you guys that are willing to pitch in and help with that, just let me know. But we'll talk to you again. I'm going to try to do one on Sunday, but I'm for sure going to do one next Tuesday night at about 7:30. Life happens. Sometimes I'm a few minutes late, but we're going to stick with the Tuesday night, 7:30 for right now. If we can put together some kind of a personalized podcast where we have a group of coffee brewers or something like that on, if you'll help me coordinate that, we'll do it whatever the time works out best for you guys. But I have Tuesday night and Friday nights are my only free nights during the week. So let us know what works best for you guys, and we'll keep on podcasting as long as you guys keep on watching. Thanks a lot. Like us, share us, friend us, all those good stuff, all those good things. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.